How's everybody doing? Thank you for being here. Let's take a look at the market. Well, S&P futures are up a quarter point. Look at that. Would you take a look at that? I'm a little bit surprised because hang on here. Well, I was going to say I'm a little bit surprised because last time I looked at a chart of Bitcoin, it was not inspiring. It was selling off again. Anyway, but I'm having a hard time getting back there. All right. Well, who cares about Bitcoin, right? Who cares about Bitcoin? Daily factor today. So it's editor's choice Sunday. So I have the graphic all drawn up. Let's go out to TradingView. Hopefully Bitcoin's rallying. When I was looking a while ago, it was lower than it had been all weekend. Yeah, it looks like it's, well, I mean, that's the S&P. All right. Bitcoin, yes, it is bouncing. Thank goodness. I was looking at it a while ago, a few hours ago, and it was like at 88,000 and selling off. Anyway, all right, we're bouncing, but I mean, we're still under 90. Anyway, that sucks. All right, well, we can't worry about that. We can do the daily factor, though. Editor's choice. Okay, so here's what I did. I took the entire database of the max factor, and I just took the ETFs, probably the top 30 or whatever, but I went through the top 30, maybe top 40, but I went through the very top of the list and I pulled out the ones that are diversified. So, I mean, I didn't even use SOXY and I use the ones that have that are indexed basically, so in any event, so that's how I made editor's choice. So here's what we have on the editor's choice. We have, and this is going, we'll just go from high yield to low yield. Highest yield one we have on here is TDAC. And this thing's from Tap Alpha. Doing a great job. NAV's up. Pays a good yield. IWMI pays a really nice yield for NEOS. NAV's up 3.5% on the quarter. HCAL. Same story on all these. HCAL pays a decent yield, I guess, 10%. NAV's up. XLKI from State Street. NAV's up 1%. Triple QX. IDEVO. NAV's up nearly 4% on IDEVO. T-SPY from Tap Alpha pays 13.7, plus the NAV's up. Ditto with JEPQ. It only pays 10, but the NAV's doing a little better than T-SPY. Cornerstone is always in the mix of it right here. Well, both Cornerstones, CLM, CRF, but they're definitely based on more than 100 stocks. I just didn't do the ones that were not very diversified. I just pulled this, just the diversified ones that were in the top 20 or so. Like SPIN right here. GPIX is a good diversified fund. Look at these. These pay, SPIN and GPIX pays similar yields. But SPIN has a heck of a lot better quarterly NAV return than GPIX. SPIN, has nearly 7% NAV return. That's impressive. But then we have RSPA yielding 9, Devo yielding 4.5 with good NAV return, though. Then we have Will. I don't know how diversified Will really is. Will probably shouldn't be on here. I was trying to do the ones that are like basically indexes, S&P, but whatever. I got a few on here that, I think it's an interesting list. Okay, so but let's just go by NAV. If we just lined it up by NAV return, it'd be spin. I mean, spin and Devo. Look at Devo killing it on the NAV return, and iDevo. I mean, and IWMI from Neos, and even Global X getting in on the NAV action this quarter. Little Nuveen. Anyway, let's go by stable DEX though. The most stable funds are the Global X and JP Morgan, but then we have SPUT and Will, Devo, and a few others also very stable. Let's sort it by Moxie. Which one has the most Moxie? iDevo. I know that'll make a lot of you guys happy. I talk to people all the time that like that have either iDevo or Devo, one or both of them, and they're always really happy with them. And I mean, you know, they're doing well. The Max's Moxie metric measures I forget what it measures. It measures the yield. I'm trying to think. It measures volatility. I think it measures the yield against volatility or something. Anyway, what it means is it has a high yield relative to the volatility in the fund. I think is what the Moxie. Yeah, and that's what it is. It has a high yield relative to your stable DEX. That's all Max's Moxie ranking is. Just another way of looking at it. But anyway, okay, well, let's just sort it. We'll go to Quandex. We'll sort it by Quandex. Quandex gives it to iDevo, then Devo, then CLM, GPIX, Will, Triple QX. I mean, that's a good lineup right there. You don't have a lot of high yield, but you have good NAV. All right, that's the Quandex, but let's do it by the short-term max factor. It's ranked over here, yeah, 1. So somehow XYLD keeps getting on here, and I just don't, and QYLD. I mean, but just if you look at their numbers, they're doing a great job. Spin, IWMI. My metric prioritizes safety too much, and these get up here because of the stable DEX. But really, IWMI from Neos, not super stable because it's the Global X ones are too stable. To me, IWMI is likely a better fund. Let's compare IWMI to RYLD from Global X. And Neos does a good job. Neos does a really good job. All right, well, but I guess if we just look at the last quarter, RYLD is not even on the list. So I don't know why I'm comparing it to that, but just because it has the same underlines. But really, forget about RYLD. The ones that are on the list are QYLD. and XYLD. And those are ranked higher on the list. Let's just run those against IWMI. IWMI is editor's choice. I don't care what any of the numbers say or whatever. IWMI is, but I mean, I don't know. Am I right? I mean, I look at it's one heck of a lot more risky than QYLD. And that's what, I mean, the Max Factor really prioritizes safety, and so, I mean, I guess, so actually it's good. I mean, I can see now that I lined it up, I can see why QLD is ranked ahead. I mean, okay, I get it now. I get it. All right, guys, do you guys have any of those? Do you like any of those funds? Those are kind of some lower volatility funds, those are never the ones I talk about. I mean, there was no K yield, there was no WPay, there was none of that. Not that there's anything wrong with those funds, but let's look at WPay for the past quarter, and let's look at WPay against QYLD, which was ranked number one on my Max Factor, and 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I mean, QYLD has been steady. You have to give it to it for steadiness. You have to give it to it for steadiness. Let's run K yield against QYLD from Global X. Now K yield got off to a rough start. All right, what are you guys up to tonight? Hey Charles, how you doing, bud? Who do you want me to compare? Yeah, IWMI. Yeah. What about comparing it to ITWO, I2, which is a competing product? They sell 0-day ODTE options on the Russell 2000. Yeah, I know it. Okay, I know it. And that's a better comparison. Let's just do that. IWMI and RDTE. I did a different one, but I should have done RDTE. I don't know what I was thinking. All right. I mean, that NEOS is tough. I mean, both of them have positive. No, RDT doesn't even have positive NAV. Its NAV's down a little bit. But I mean, it paid a huge dividend though. Yeah, IWM. Let's compare it to this one. Let's do IWMI, and this one did not make the list. I'm pretty sure it's in the Max Factor, but it's called ITWO, and we never talk about it. They sell 0-DTE options on the Russell 2000, and let me make sure it close. Yeah, you guys can see that. They sell 0-DTE options on the Russell, and it's the same thing as iSPY and IQQQ. It's, which is different than SPY-I. SPY-I is from NEOS. Triple QI is from NEOS. But then there's these over here, and they do a great job, and no one ever talks about them. I mean, they do an all right job, I guess. I mean, right here, it looks like they're beating IWMI. And so I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they aren't on the Max Factor. How long have they been out? I guess they've been out long enough. But in any event, I'll look into that. Does anyone have any of that I2? Any significant market sell-off, 15%. Many more of these funds are not going to get, yeah, correct. Yeah, and you prefer Neos. Neos is I mean, blue chippy, you know. Yeah, I2 shares, pro shares. Okay. I couldn't think who it was. I get pro shares and iShares mixed up. So, but anyway, but I know who they are now. So exactly. And it's just like iSpy. And I've looked at their options before and what they do, and I think they use a swap, but what they're essentially doing, they do a 0 DTE option, but they do it like way out of the money, like a 1.5% out of the money, and it doesn't bring in much yield. But since they do it every day, they could still pay a decent yield, and it's so far out of the money that they don't really cap their upside much at all. Anyway, it's not the worst plan I've ever seen. I mean, it's not the worst plan. Let's just look at iSpy. I mean, but let's just look at iSpy versus SPY. Last I looked, I think SPY is still beating it, but now SPY, what they do is they use monthly options, and they do other things too, but they're doing a little bit different thing. So on the quarter, something like iSpy, which is this iShares or whatever product, I mean, it's close. It's close. Let's just look since inception. All right, since inception, I mean, it's right there. I mean, either one of these or neither could work. I'll say this: iSpy was doing was pretty, gets looks like it's more bullish. Got pretty far ahead in the last bullish market. But right now they're pretty much at the same place after 2 years. One paid $8 on 39 and one paid $11 on 47. It's probably about the same ratio. It looks, just eyeballing it, it looks like maybe the yield's pretty close. Looks like they're similar for sure. And yeah, I2 is yeah. So and we can look at ITWO, but let's compare it against we've already looked against IWMI, but let's compare it with IWMY from Defiance. And then, yeah, and we can look at RDTE. I think we may already have, though, from Round Hill. Yeah, I2 is just putting it on Defiance. I mean, to be fair though, they were down more, and they dropped from a higher point, so they were, quite a bit riskier. I mean, just by eyeballing it, but they're doing much better on the way up. All right, so let's run I2 against. We've already looked at RYLD. Do we already look at RDTE? I think we did. Maybe we could look at RDTY from YieldMax. We'll do RDTE first. Yeah, this is right. That's a good look for R2, I2, because RDT's has a good reputation. Let's look at RDTY. This is from YieldMax. I2's just spanking this one. I mean, look at I2. I2's up on NAV, whereas RDTY is down on NAV. Paid a huge dividend, but still, I mean, down on NAV, paid a huge dividend. It's one of those types. All right. Well, all right. What are you saying there, Charles? Time to short gun stocks yet? I don't know. Hopefully not yet. I want this whole market to run into the end of the year. I just wish Bitcoin would get back at the six figures. What is going on with Bitcoin? Well, I want to get back, or at least above 90 and stay above 90. Or why, I mean, it is looking a lot better the past few minutes. When I was griping about it, it was doing this deal down here. So that's much better. We want this thing here. I'm going to put on a longer term chart. I get lost in the short term. Let's just put on a weekly chart. Really step back and get a longer term perspective on it. I mean, it doesn't look great to me, but it's fine. It's fine. But I mean, I hope it doesn't need to go down here to this area down here. I don't know. I hope it doesn't. Why can't it just go straight back to all time highs before the end of the year? Come on, that's what I want to see. That's probably not realistic though. Looking at that's, I mean, oh gosh, oh well. But yeah, hopefully more upside. They buy it in Japan and they sell it in Europe. Bitcoin looking like a falling knife. Well, I mean, on this weekly chart, I mean, the weekly chart is stabilized, but yeah, the shorter term chart, the 30-minute chart, looked like a falling knife this afternoon, and now it's going the other way. But yeah, this right here was I mean, that's not a great look. We don't want to see that. Yeah, I know it. I hope not. But man, I hope not, but maybe so. Possibly so. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about or um, editor's choice. Have we looked at everything? Sustainability, Inception, Stable Dex. We looked at that. Max's Moxie. We never look at the long-term max factor, but just for fun, it's IDEVO, CLM, Devo, IWMI, CRF, Will, T-SPY. Any of these are good. I mean, all of these have been steady and have been returning, have been giving you NAV, positive NAV, which allows you to compound your money and ideally, snowball it in the right direction. And at the same time, they've been paying decent yield that looks somewhat sustainable. At least it has been over the past quarter. Past performance is no guarantee of future performance for sure. All right, you would love to have that after dark ETF right about now. So yeah, can you imagine? That would be a good one. I think the B hedge one is a cool idea because I think that would go. I think especially depending on how they do it, but I think that could go really well and could complement something like blocks or some of the riskier funds that have a lot of crypto exposure. I mean, it looks like I think that B hedge might be a slicker alternative than Winter. But I know Winter's helped a lot of people hedge crypto exposure, and Winter's been great for people. So who am I to say? But I think that B hedge could be interesting. Could be interesting also. Not to mention that fund, oh no, from Matthew Tuttle and all that. Randy, what did you do? You made money today in predictions market. Sweet. I haven't done any prediction markets yet. I've never participated yet. It's a great idea though. Um, you know where I get 24-hour market prices is a place called Weekend Wall Street. It's just a website, but it's from Europe. But they take you as an American, you can't have an account there, but you can see what the market's doing. And it doesn't matter if our market's open or not. That one's always open. So I always go to Weekend Wall Street after hours. But nowadays, I mean, doesn't Hood have 24-hour pricing? You can, if you have an account there, or even if you don't. And then prediction markets, a lot of the prediction markets probably have a stock market price. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah, and I haven't even on football games. Yeah, man, I bet that's fun on football games. I hadn't even thought about prediction market. Yeah, I bet that's fun. All right, Charles, what are you saying here? Crypto has no use in large language model AI, which is all the rave for investors. Charles says he prefers calculated option trading than gambling. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. These high yield stocks can be, volatile, dangerous, whatever you want to say. But I think the ones that hit the top of the max factor, I mean, look at these: IDEVO, CLM, Devo, IWMI, CRF, Will. These, most everyone would agree, are on the more solid side. I mean, still may not be for everybody, whatever, but this is a good list of some more solid, some more solid ones. I like to see things like XLKI on here and HCal. I mean, HCal never gets on here. I'm reviewing an Amplify ETF right now. I recorded it once, but I'm gonna have to re-record a show. I'm working on some content right now on some new ETFs. But anyway, yeah, no, I hear you, Charles. I hear you on that. But yeah, but I like to do all that kind of stuff. I just like to go in Vegas and just actually play sports, sit there and bet on baseball games and stuff. You just can't do that in Texas, or bet on football games. But I guess you kind of can nowadays in the prediction markets. But pretty much soon everything's going to be on the right. It's going to be on the blockchain, and it's going to be, everything's tokenized, even stocks. So you know what I'm saying? Or someday, sooner than later, it's a fun time to be an investor, but also because they've gamified everything in options, they've kind of gamified the market a little bit. But anyway, all right, Randy, what are you saying? You have a few Amplify ETFs, don't have to watch them that close. Yeah, I'm actually doing one called Swan, SWAN, and it's a black swan. I'm recording a show. As soon as I get out of here, I'm going to go record it. Then I'll release it. You guys will probably see it in the morning. But it's on ETFs to buy. If you think next year the market's going to sell off. So black swan type stuff. It's not really black swan. They call it swan. It's not really for black swans. Just watch the show. It is an interesting concept though. But Amplify has some other interesting ones in there too. But I get in the middle of some white papers and stuff. It's quite a video. I had to re-record it because I recorded it once already, and it was like 40 minutes, and it was too long. And so I'm going to go do it again and just kind of cut to the chase, try to make it about 20 minutes. Anyway, I hope you guys will like it. I make videos for you guys. But anyway, all right, guys. So I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you like Editor's Choice Sunday night. Hopefully you liked it. To recap, our winner was XYLD, but and then second runner up was QYLD. And they have all the metrics. Editor's Choice went to IWMI down here. So, yep, IWMI was editor's choice. Yes, Amplify does have YYY, iDevo, which is on here. QDevo. Why did QDevo not? Hang on here. Let's look. Let's look. We have the master list right here. And we can maybe. We could maybe. There's YYY, but I wonder if I have QDevo. I think maybe somehow they aren't on here. So no, it does not look like they're. Anyway, I need to put QDevo on here. But yeah, they have some good ones, and this one called Swan is kind of a different kind of. It's a different breed of cat. How about SFOL? I really don't know that much about SFOL. We could look at it right here. I mean, I used to follow SFOL all the time. They did a cool little hedge fund strategy type thing. But basically it was a bet that volatility would go down, which is also a bet that the market will go up or at least be stable. But then they changed their prospectus all around, and I don't really know what to think of them. They haven't even taken back this is price only. This isn't dividends. It's probably doing fine. But as far as just their price, they haven't even taken back the March high. It sold off a bunch, but everything sold off. I can forgive them for that. But then sometime around here, they changed the formula. And on some days they do great. They're up huge on some days. But I just can't get a handle on the new formula. It looks kind of more like a fund of funds. That's an interesting ETF right there, SPUC. I'm actually talking about that one as well on this video I'm making, but AGGH. It's an interesting fund, but I just can't get a handle on it. They've lost a lot of money. Look at their AUM. They had 1.2 billion because it used to be a good fund that everybody liked. And then October of 2024, you could see money started flowing out of it and not into it. Not that they didn't have some money come back in here and there, but net money's been flowing out of it. And right now they only manage 650. This is down from 1.2 billion. So it's kind of like, it's similar to what happened to ULTY. It's got lost more than half its NAV. People selling the fund because the asset they follow is really not down. They aren't really losing that due to their assets selling off. Their assets pretty much sideways. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I know about that one. Does anyone have that SFOL? Yeah, no problem, Michael. Mike, okay, Max, MLPI is. Yes. Okay. Well, I think I have MLPI ready to go in the max factor. What was the other one I need to put in the max factor? QDevo. Okay. So MLP. Global X MLP. There's an MLPD, which is a Global X covered call ETF. I'm just looking to see what other stuff's available. But I'm not seeing an I, but just for fun, let's look at MLPD. This is Global X's version. This probably, it pays 11.2%. There's no reason this shouldn't be in the max factor. I don't know how well it would do, but I need to put that. I need to put this one, iDevo, and something else in the max factor. Oh yeah, well, MLPI. You said it's NEOS. Maybe it just hasn't come out yet. Yeah, they just got it last week. I got it. It's all good. It maybe just hasn't, it just hasn't been released yet. But we can look here. We can go down here to the main database and 10, 11, 12. It looks like AMYY is getting ready to. WPay's in the lineup already, but it looks like AMYY is in a few days will be in the lineup, as will, what the heck is XRPM? Oh, it's a Ripple mining or something. Anyway, and then KSilv will get in at the end of the month, which will be exciting. You got to love you some KSilv. KSilv's a good one. KSilv is definitely a good one. But BR gave me one to put in here today. What was it? Was it GGN? Now there it is. That is GGN right there. Okay, so I think I've already done it. So let's put in a little QDevo. Come on, I don't think I put it in the right spot. All right, well, QDevo's in the lineup from now on. And what was that other one? MLPD. I mean, there's no reason MLPD can't be in there. It's the same thing as MLPI. It's just all right, guys. I appreciate you helping me think of those. Oh, the Neos boosted were they're in January now. Okay, MLPI might be out this week. Okay, MLPX and MLPD are Global X. Yeah, I knew that when I typed it in. I just typed in MLP, and then I was looking at the suggestions, and I saw the Global X was on there. All right, well, this is getting better. This is getting better all the time. We just added, so we have GGN in here, which is a really good. Do you guys know about this one? I think it was BR that told me about this one. But I mean, look, this one sells off in April, recovers its price, barely misses a beat, paying a yield, green everywhere. Heck yeah. Yeah. ML, yeah. And lately, I mean, I would kind of make fun of Global X or whatever, but just mathematically, those Global X funds are dominating the max factor. I mean, and I think it may be because the market's been kind of different and some of the riskier strategies have been getting beat up. So I mean, that speaks good for Global X, because Global X is just, I mean, they may sell those at the money options in the monthly time frame, but it brings in a lot of premium and it creates a nice buffer. And that strategy works. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, I never even look at. I guess we could go do this though. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Diversified divas. I'm always looking at the X day instead of the pay date, but let's go see. So WPay right here. So they paid 53 last time, 35 the time before that, 44 the time before that, 39, basically 40 cents the time before, 57, 56. So yeah, I've been monitoring these guys since the last day since Halloween. So yeah, what are you guys thinking on what do you guys think? I hope it's more like 53 and less like 35, right? You're saying 29 cents on WPay, really? Well, that'd be the lowest one they paid. Dude, I'm going to sell that dog if that's all they pay. Are you serious? Come on, WPay. They can do better than that. Yeah, no, I know it. I'm just joking. I have no idea. And that WPay has a different element in there because they do those total return swaps, and I'm not convinced that's necessarily bad or good. It's just different. I don't really think we have enough data to see yet. It's just a different strategy. But anyway, it's interesting because when the market pulls back, they'll pay less of a dividend. Where the covered call funds will pay a little bit higher a dividend because volatility goes up. But these total return swaps, if they really aren't selling options, so they just pay a little bit less when the market pulls back. I'm not so sure that may not be a good idea anyway, but so it's just different ways to do the same thing. Like I always say, these guys are all fishing in the same pond. It's all, there's a big marketplace for insurance in the market, and that's what runs these covered call funds. There's a market for insurance, and it's the IV. It's what drives these funds. Yeah, I hear you. All right. Well, so in the morning we'll be here about 9 o'clock, and we'll see what's going on. So it'll be 10 o'clock Eastern, but I'll be here at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock my time. All right, guys. Guys, I appreciate y'all for being here, and I will talk to you in the morning.